I'm Kristina. I study industrial economics. I'm from London. I went to a state school in West London. It was a really good experience, actually. It was very diverse. So one of the really important things that I wanted to make sure was that the university I go to, I felt really comfortable, make sure that it almost feels like home. So I think before coming to university, that was one of the main things that I wanted to really make sure that I had. So when I got to university, it was really interesting and exciting that Nottingham was really diverse, and it was exactly how my hometown was. I think at sixth form, I thought my interest was kind of social science. I was really interested in just social aspects in general. So I studied psychology, I studied economics. So then when I got to university, I decided to study economics. But then whilst in economics, I realized that I actually have a major interest in kind of how brands portray themselves to people and the social aspect of business as opposed to actual economics. So now my main interest is probably marketing. I really like digital marketing, all aspects of marketing. So that's probably what I will end up doing. But yeah, I just love communicating, socializing, all things social. I think I decided to go to university because I definitely wanted a degree. I wanted to learn. I love learning. So I thought, by going to university, it would be an environment where I not only just learn, but I also have an area where I can meet new people. I can also live by myself because by moving from London to Nottingham, it was a massive step. So that's why I decided to go to university. But the reason why I picked Nottingham was because I remember coming on the open day and I loved the campus. I loved the diversity of people. I loved the way that it was set up. So that's what really attracted me to Nottingham. I think I had more of a fantasy type preconception. I watched a lot of American films. So I think my expectation was kind of almost like an American university type thing. And it was actually funny because I remember when I came to the campus actually did remind me a lot of an American style campus. The culture is very different though, compared to the American films, but I really enjoy it, yeah. I remember my first day at university, and I realised that I'm gonna have to go shopping to fill my fridge for the first time, and that was that was new. And I had met one of my flatmates for the first time, and we realised, oh, what are we gonna eat? So we both decided to go to Lidl and do our shopping for the first time. But I think we didn't realise how much food we actually had. So when we ended up buying all the food, we realised we physically couldn't actually carry our stuff back to the accommodation. So people saw us struggling. I was like, do you need help? So we had random strangers help us carry our shopping back to the accommodation, but they ended up actually being our friends. So that was good. So I remember first year it was online because I came during the COVID period, so everything was online. And I remember there came a point where I said, you know what, I'm not going to let online stop me. So I started befriending like the people on my Teams groups. So I started, asking them questions, finding out, oh, where do you live, that type of stuff. And one of my closest friends now I actually met through Teams. But I find that now, because everything's in person, it's very different. You actually have to, go into lectures, you meet people, you can see people, in person. And I actually quite like going to my lectures. I have a lot of 9 a.m.s though, so it's having to wake up a lot earlier than I used to, but yeah. So I think because of COVID, it meant that I had a really close relationship with my flatmates because for most of the time, those were the people, those were my household basically. So I had a really close relationship with my flatmates. We would practically go and do everything together. And I actually, even though it was COVID, it didn't really feel like it because it was almost like that was my friends. And even my accommodation, I really enjoyed the accommodation that I lived at. I thought that it was really exciting, eventful. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, even though it was COVID, yeah. I think because I lived in private accommodation, I didn't live on campus, it was slightly different. So I think on campus they'd have arranged events that people would do. I think because it was private, it was actually funny because there was still things going on, but it was actually student-led, which I thought was kind of, well, I don't know about the others, but it was really interesting for me. So I remember in summer, I think they had arranged like a sports day, and that was fun. I think they went to a local park and they had like all the events, and I think that was probably one of my highlights in terms of summer. There was also a water fight. I remember that. It was so hot and everyone just went crazy with the water fight. Yeah, there was a lot of things going on, yeah. I think it depends on what time of year as well, because I remember in summer, everyone used to go to the Downs. That was when, when it's hot, everyone kind of would just like play sports, kind of do picnics, everything like that. So in summer, I would say, the Downs or anywhere just nice and hot. I'd say in winter, I actually really like the coffee shops and the bars and that type of stuff, because I think it's a good way to socialise with people in between your lectures for the coffee shops, and then, after lectures for the bars and things. I think it's a really good way to kind of even meet new people as well, people that you don't usually see at campus, you get to see them. So yeah, definitely that. I kind of just like Starbucks. I kind of just like, because I actually study at Jubilee campus. So whether it's Starbucks at Portland or Starbucks at Jubilee, I just really like going to Starbucks. Yeah. I'm a massive restaurant person, so I usually, me and my friends have a list of restaurants in Nottingham, and like each time we want to go to a restaurant, we like check it off the list. So I definitely say restaurants. We love going to different cuisines, different types of restaurants, dressy, casual. Yeah, love restaurants. The American style ones, there's Bunk. So if you're going for somewhere casual, loads of people tend to go to Bunk. It's very cheap as well. There's also this place called Fat Hippo, and all their food is massive. So their burgers are probably the size of my face. There's also a barbecue place as well. They do really nice ribs. I can't remember what that one's called, but it's really good. And then there's also good places for drinks as well. So people tend to go to Las Iguanas. They do bottomless brunch as well. Turtle Bay, bottomless brunch. Yeah, I go to a lot of restaurants. I like the spontaneity of it. I like the fact that I can just leave whenever I want to. If my friends are around, then I could just be like, oh, I'm just popping out to... Whereas I think in London, I don't know if it's because of the location as well, but I tend to find that I'm in a habit of booking things, because you can't just spontaneously go to things in London. You have to book in advance. If you're going to go somewhere, you kind of have to plan it. I think in Nottingham, there's this like freeing aspect where it's like, oh, do you feel to go here? Yeah, and you don't have to book. And also the fact that, like, even if it is nighttime, I don't have to necessarily say, oh, I'm going here, because you live by yourself, so you just answer to yourself. It seems so small, but I love the fact that people at Nottingham are so friendly. I'm not sure about other universities, because obviously I went here, but I find that even if there's I think even yesterday I was at the library and I realised I forgot my notepad, and I was just looking at my laptop thinking, how am I going to do my work? And I was in a room with another two girls, and I was like, do you mind if I can use some paper? And they were like so, willing to give me whatever. They're like, oh, do you need more? Let me know if you need more. And I think that aspect of people so willing to help, people so friendly, is something that I really like, and it makes me feel so comfortable being here. I study industrial economics, so it's economics, but the industrial part, it sounds fancy, but it just means that it's applied to industry. So I have some business modules as well. So I like the fact that even though I'm doing economics, I can still do business modules. I did a marketing module, and that module was actually the module that made me realise I wanted to take marketing further, because I realised how much I enjoyed actually doing that assignment, and also the grade that I got. So I think it's the fact that I have so much variety in what courses I do. So yeah, I would definitely say the fact that I have so much versatility in terms of what I can do, yeah. Because I'm doing a 4-year course instead of a 3-year course, I've got a placement year, and I was a bit confused as to how to approach that. I wasn't really too sure in terms of my cover letter, my CV, how to stand out, all of those things. And when I reached out to the services at university, they really helped me. I had like a personal session with someone who was able to look over my CV and cover letter and make sure that it was able to apply to the companies that I was looking to actually work at. So I think not just the academic sense, but also in terms of the practical placement sense, I feel like I got a lot of support in making sure that I'm standing out as a good option to work at a company. So my parents, I would definitely say, because my dad was actually born in Nottingham, and then later decided to move to London, and because, to build a career and everything. So it was very ironic that I ended up coming back to Nottingham after he had left. But a lot of family members were here, and I felt that even though I was studying here as a student, I still had the family aspect here. And I think that was also another element of connection that I didn't realise until getting here. Everyone sounded like my dad. When I went to the shops, everyone sounded like my family members. So I'd definitely say, yeah, he definitely inspired me to come here, yeah. I actually take part in some African Caribbean Society events. So because I'm Caribbean heritage, I find that going there is a really good place to meet people that kind of look like me, that understand certain things that I would do back home as well. And I really like the fact that, going to these events, you can meet so many different types of people even though they're from the same heritage, they're from different locations. You'll meet a Caribbean from Leeds, a Caribbean from Birmingham. So I think it's a really good way to kind of branch out. And also, since being at Nottingham, it made me kind of think about different ways to get involved in more health-related stuff as well. So I also use the university gym. That was a recent thing, though. I just decided that I wanted to get more healthy. So yeah, the gym as well is another thing that I love to use, yeah. I think living away from home made me realise that independence isn't necessarily doing everything by yourself, because I think when I thought about living by myself, I thought about like I can cook for myself, I can go out for myself, I don't have to rely on anyone. But I think being at university, it makes me realise that independence isn't necessarily just, isolating yourself and doing everything for yourself. But, if you do need help with something, feeling comfortable asking for help, whether that's, I need help moving something, or even if it's just I need someone to talk to. So, yeah, definitely realising that independence isn't necessarily doing everything by myself. Yeah. I think talking to so many different types of people was a good skill that I was able to learn, because, when you go into the workplace, you may not necessarily be with a bunch of people from London, or, you may not be with a bunch of people that are from your background. So I think university made me realise that, talking to different types of people that you may not usually talk to is always good, because in the workplace, you may come across different types of people that you don't have a lot in common with, but you have to work with them. So yeah, I think definitely the different types of people. Before university, I didn't really do a lot of camera work. I didn't really do a lot of speaking work. So I think since coming to university, I've kind of realised that, digital marketing is a really big and growing market. And so that's something that I really want to use as a career eventually. Since being a student content creator for the university, it's kind of taught me a lot more about social media. So I do a lot of jobs relating to camera work. So I remember on Freshers' Fair, I think it was when I was in second year, so I didn't get to really do a full Freshers' Fair experience first year because of COVID. So I remember I got to go to Freshers' Fair with COVID restrictions released, and I got to do an Instagram takeover. So I remember on my Instagram takeover, I was just going to the different stands, asking different people, so how do people sign up to your society? How do people join your sport? And I remember going around and actually meeting people as I was going. So even now, I know like some of the committee members of random sports societies just from going to the Freshers' Fair. So yeah, there's definitely quirks from going to these type of events and getting the opportunity to do a lot of camera work. I think there was one point when I had quite a lot of coursework. I picked quite a lot of business modules, and I remember there was like one specific point where I knew I had 3 deadlines in 1 week, and I was a bit of a procrastinator before, so I kind of left it all until pretty late. So I remember that was very demanding. I was basically just typing up all of these assignments, and I remember there were specific people on my course that really helped me in terms of, how to kind of manage my time better, how to make sure that I actually submit them on time and everything. And I ended up submitting them on time, and they ended up being one of my best grades, because I would say I'm probably better with coursework as opposed to exams. So yeah, I definitely say that was the most demanding, but the people on my course really did help me get through that period. I had some help from students who I was friends with also on my course, who helped me in terms of kind of telling me how they're managing the work as well, because a lot of people are actually in the same boat and you don't realise it, but there were a lot of people in the same position as me, so they helped a lot. But then also the lecturers as well, they had seminars where they went through how to approach the coursework, how to make sure that you're getting as high of a grade as possible. So yeah, both. To be fair, I kind of just take one step at a time, but I would like to think that I continue to help people, whether it's students or whether it's just people in general. I think that, as I said before, social media is a really good way of helping people and reaching a lot of people. So I'd love to continue doing social media marketing. But even if it is just speaking generally, I really think that, sharing knowledge and helping people in different situations is a really good skill to have in the future. So yeah, I hope I'm speaking at some point. Yeah, I think getting through the 4 years and with all the assignments, all the exams, all of that, I think as well as the academic degree to say that I've graduated from industrial economics, but it's also the fact that I was able to complete despite all of the challenges along the way. So I think leaving with a degree would definitely be a massive achievement for me, yeah. I think one of my other interests, as well as marketing, is I'm really big on well-being and health. So I'd love to do something around well-being and health. So one of the things that I really want to have is very strange and random, but I really want a massive health centre. So almost like a shopping centre, but dedicated to health. And I think it emphasises like the importance of health. I think since coming to university, it made me realise that health is a really important aspect of university, mental health as well. So yeah, definitely something around health. Yeah.